I've been lucky enough to have experienced a lot of shamanic practices, healing treatments around the world, and what's always struck me is sometimes the simplest techniques actually allow my body and my mind to come back in balance incredibly quickly. And if you don't know me yet, that's one of the key things that I'm always seeking in terms of my own learning, is how can I help you achieve a level of balance like in seconds. If I can do it in seconds, I feel like I've really achieved something. And so, you know, bringing that back down to using just a couple of points, a little bit of sound, and a couple of crystals, that's what I'm hopefully going to do in this little mini treatment. So if you don't have any crystals, and you can use any ones, but today I'm going to use clear quartz crystal. This is a rather beautiful wand. Don't use the pointy end, use the beveled flat end. If you don't have a wand, and for anyone that's done zone facelift, you'll recognise these, and these are the clear quartz spheres that we use in the treatment. If you don't have any of that, get a couple of teaspoons from the kitchen. It will allow you to feel the coolness on your skin, which is what, you know, part of the benefit of the crystal. And although you don't have the vibrational elements of it, there is still some benefit to you actually feeling the coolness on your skin. Clear quartz, what I should add, is it's the master healer crystal, and it also helps to align all the chakras. And I'm using it in particular today, but I use it in all my treatments, to really help very quickly alleviate anxiety. And so that's why I'm using it today. So I'm going to start off today with a little bit of sound healing. I always start working in this way. And vibration in the body actually changes. So when you are anxious or worried about something or have fear, the vibrations in your body change, your brain patterns change as well. And so sound, chanting, crystals can all change those vibrational elements. And I really love working with crystal stones, sound, things like that that actually have a resonance to the earth, and they can bring you back into balance. So I'm going to start with, if you can take a couple of deep breaths, listen to the sound as it actually slowly disappears. And we're going to start with a couple of deep breaths. And as you're breathing out, you're letting go of all those worries, listening as the sound slowly disappears. So we're going to start off with the lung reflex, and so everything I do is always reflexology based. The lung reflex is a sort of triangle that goes across the cheeks, comes across underneath and points up at the top. And take a couple, you know, if you don't have crystals, one of the other things you can do is get a couple of stones from the garden or when you're out on a walk. Make sure they're very smooth, and that's very important. They still have a resonance, they still are really beneficial. And also cold. So I want you to stroke them across the cheeks. And you're going to do this also just a tiny bit above the eyebrows. How does that feel? So it should feel lovely and cooling. Also, because we're working from the center outwards, it provides a little bit of lymphatic drainage. And so that's very good for clearing the skin. So I'm using a couple of stones, but you could actually use crystals for this if you actually happen to have smooth ones. The next reflex that I want to do is the balance reflex, and this works both on the physical balance of the body. So if you've got a cold or anything like that, then that can impact your balance if you've just flown, something like that, but also the emotional balance. And so don't be surprised if you feel a vibration. So some of the points that you feel sometimes will have a similar effect in terms of little grains of sand or vibrations that you would feel in a standard foot reflexology treatment. So the point is where the top part of the ear attaches to the side of the head, and you're going to get this point on both sides. If you can see any day glow paint on this, my apologies, my son in lockdown decided to do googly eyes on all of my equipment. But anyway, I managed to get most of it off. And so this is just to show you where the points are. And now I'm going to take my two lovely quartz crystals and place them on the balance reflex. And take a lovely deep breath in. Stimulate with a very slight circular movement for 3 seconds. And release. Lovely deep circular movement for 3 seconds. And release. And let's do one with the fingers. So I want you to, just so that you can pick up any reflexes that you might feel out of balance, let's do one with the fingers. And release. I know that it's not unusual to feel something on this particular reflex. The next one that we're going to do, and I'm going to use my lovely spherical quartz crystal here. This is a clear quartz crystal on the head and brain reflex. So this is one that I did in the other facial reflexology video, but adding in the quartz crystal, in particular on the third eye chakra, is so incredibly powerful. And I've heard from a couple of you that you really felt a release. So stimulate this for about 10 seconds using little circular movements. If you don't have the quartz crystal, take your teaspoon, and I know it looks a bit funny, but it doesn't matter. You're going to feel a lovely release of negative energy. Also, this was a tip that I actually gave, I think it was to the Daily Mail, and I did a little facial reflexology feature to help reduce hot flushes. And because the hypothalamus is actually incorporated in the head and brain reflex, it's an incredibly good way for any of you that are experiencing menopause to use a cool spoon, and you can even keep it in the fridge as the weather starts to get warmer, and that's a very good tip. Anyway, and finally, we're going to do solar plexus breathing. Now, solar plexus breathing, you could use your crystals, or you could use your stones. I'm going to use my fingers. So drawing a straight line down the center of the pupil, look at where it crosses the diaphragm reflex, and use your thumbs. Take a lovely deep breath in and out. I'm going to use my crystals the next time that I do it. Lovely deep breath in and out. And I'm going to use my teaspoons. Lovely deep breath in and out. And let go of all of those worries. So feel the stillness. Feel the effect on your body of doing just a couple of simple techniques, the lovely cooling resonance of the crystals, maybe incorporating a little bit of sound if any of you have bells. Now is the time actually not to only focus on your clients, but to focus on yourself and to see what therapeutic elements that you can actually bring into your own life as a daily ritual to help you feel a little bit better. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Bye-bye.